So yes, if you want to clean up your channel, we will go through some ways to do that next. So we do have a cleanup tool, and this is something that is recently implemented in YouTube Studio, where it helps show you a list of unusual activity that could have been occurring on your channel, and it helps you confirm whether those changes are made by you, whether they're unauthorized, and help you make the adjustments to help essentially clean up the channel. So the cleanup tool steps. So once you're in your computer, again, this is a desktop feature. So once you're in the computer and you go to the cleanup tool in YouTube Studio, you would start a review. Please note that this is only going to show up if YouTube Studio has detected some unusual activity. So if you're like, I don't see any cleanup tool right when I'm in a studio, that's a great sign. That means we haven't detected anything that is unusual. So it'll only show if we've detected the unusual information. So when you check the activity, you'll review the changes that are listed in checkbox. You will be able to check the changes that you did make. And if you made all the changes, there's an easy option at the bottom that says you made them all. You would go to the next page and you would review the actions that you'll take under how do you fix this. And then you would go to the next page and you review the access, so who has access to your channel, and then you would update any roles that are needed to remove the access, and then you would finish any additional steps and complete the cleanup of your channel, and then you would submit. So this is, again, all steps that are provided, and they will be shown up if and only if YouTube or the studio detects that there was unwanted changes or unusual activity in the account. We can go to the next slide. Thank you. So what happens next? So we'll make the changes that you requested from the tool, and they will be made within a few hours. YouTube should send you an email to clean. You'll be able to track and clean up requests. So if you need to go back and clean up tool and edit anything you review, you have, I think, about 30 days from the submission. You can only review the things that you marked as authorized, but you cannot undo any of the changes you marked as unauthorized. So just keep that in note when you're going through the cleanup tool. So manually, when your cleanup or when a YouTube channel is hacked, the most frequent changes that we see sometimes are like the banner changing, the image changing, your channel image changing, any about info, possibly handle. That's not really that common, but the handle can change. So these are the things you want to be mindful of to make sure, and also removing those unwanted users. There's sometimes when the users get into the account, they will add themselves to the channel. So we really want to make sure we're combing through and removing any unwanted users that are on your channel. And so here are the manual cleanup things we want to make sure we're reviewing whenever a hijacking has taken place. So we want to take action on any unauthorized uploads. So we want to make sure we're going through the videos, making sure in the playlist tab, we really want to do like a real comb through to make sure there's nothing unwanted that has been posted, even if it's private, unlisted. Really use Studio and go through and remove any unwanted uploads. We want to restore our basic info and branding. So like I mentioned, that channel name, our image, profile picture, banner, about info, all of that. We want to make sure all of that is also correct. Also, if you are one that is using other or linking out to other social media platforms, we want to make sure those have not been changed as well. Any redirects that could possibly show up in the studio. We just want to make sure we're doing a full comb through about our branding and basic info within the channel. We also want to make sure, like I mentioned previously, to remove those unwanted users. So we can do that in the Google account. If you're using a brand account, in the brand account section, we can go through the brand account, make sure the users are who they should be, that no additional people have been added to the account. And we want to check for other changes. So like I said, like the playlist, any custom thumbnails, if you have an AdSense link, to make sure the AdSense is the correct AdSense on your channel, and just check your privacy check settings and comments, any comment filters, anything like that. So we just want to make sure all of the initial setup of your channel is back to the original state.
Okay, so FAQ number 1. So I've recovered my channel, but how do I know whether the hacker has been kicked out? So the answer here is it's not always possible for us to determine that the hijacker has been removed. So we definitely recommend you review your YouTube channel and really make sure your Google account is as secure as possible to prevent any future hacks from occurring. So following some of those tips that we had mentioned before, looking at the permissions, seeing who has access to the account still, and just making sure your account is as secure as possible to make sure no future hacks occur. And then this second FAQ here, so if the hacker uploaded videos that violate YouTube's community guidelines, will I get in trouble? Could my channel be terminated? Casey actually jumped into this or talked about this on a few slides ago. But the answer here is we really want to make sure you delete any videos that you did not upload immediately, as all content on YouTube must comply with our community guidelines. So if your channel was terminated after being hacked, you can appeal once you recover your Google account. If your appeal may not have been accepted, or your appeal may not have been accepted if the account recovery is incomplete. If you do have any more questions about this, feel free to get in touch with the YouTube support team. Also, if you do the recovery with support, they should lift the suspension as a part of the account recovery. So do not worry about that. If for some reason the hacker or hijacker uploaded a video that will that got your channel terminated, that video should get removed, and any strikes or terminations should get solved. And then the last FAQ here before we get into the open Q&A is what happens if my AdSense gets hijacked? So first off, you really want to make sure you are regularly checking the AdSense attached to your channel. Some hackers just go in and only change the AdSense on the channel. So if you notice this for some reason, please reach out to our support team so they can begin an investigation. And then the same team we referenced earlier can also assist with a hijacked AdSense. So just keep that in mind if anything happens to your AdSense account. And then actually this is the last slide before our open Q&A, but if you do not know how to get help or not know how to reach out to our support teams, we definitely recommend reaching out to youtube.com/support for any help. You really want to make sure you are logged into the email address associated with your YouTube channel. And then just a few best practice tips that we always recommend when you are reaching out to support, just for the best experience for both parties. Quick tip here, we only help with issues related to YouTube. So if you're asking a question about Google Maps or Google Business, reaching out to YouTube support is not going to be the best place for that. So just keep that in mind. Yeah, like I mentioned, questions about Google products, so Maps, ads, Gmail, things like that, they're not in scope. So only ask questions regarding YouTube. And then we can also only provide the best experience when all of the relevant details and your undivided attention is given to our support teams. They might be sharing a lot of information, so you really want to make sure you're reading all of it and actually sending all of the information you have. If you have screenshots, if you have links, send all of those to our support teams, because that's really going to help, especially when it comes to a hijacking and things like that. The more information, the better. So definitely take a few extra minutes to make sure you are getting as much information in the email and in the support ticket to support, just so they can expedite all of these different requests.